I'm going to explain Stepping Stones page 7.12. For this page, they say that you need 2 dice. And I'm just thinking at home, maybe you don't have any dice. You actually need a dice that is numbered like normal, 1 to 6. And then you need a dice that is labelled 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I thought just to make it easier, if you've just got some paper at home, I've just cut off a little bit. I'm going to fold it in half and then sort of roughly into thirds. But you could just draw it in little boxes just so that we get, I'll show you what I mean, so that you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little boxes on the top and 6 on the bottom. And then I'm just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along the top, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 on the bottom. And then if you chopped those all up into little pieces and then just shuffled them around, and that could be your random numbers. I won't do all of them, but just chop them up and put them in a little pile. And then every time they want you to use the dice, you can just swish them all up and then pull one out and say, oh, I got 5. Okay, so on the very first section, it says roll the labelled cube. So that would be you using your little bits of paper, or if you've got dice, great. And it says pull out one number and then work out where it's going to fit in set A, B, or C. So for instance, I've got 5. So if I look onto the page, I'll just turn it around so you can see. I know how to do that. If you look onto the page, then in set C, actually, I can see that there's 55 take away 50. So 55 take away 50 would be 5. So I can write that in there. And then they want you to go, okay, swish my numbers around again, pull out another one. Oh, I got 60. So I'd have to look again. I can see 66 take away something equals 6. So 60 would go in there. So then you write it in. So that's for the step up. For all the other ones, I don't think you need the cubes. Oh, I think for the step ahead. Sorry, you do for the step ahead. So that's for the step up. For question 2, it states for each of the sets A, B, and C, how did the numbers change? So you need to look and go, what did change? Well, in set A, I can see that the answer was changing because it's going from 19, 18, 17, 16. I can see that because on set A, it looks like this. 22 take away something equals, I think it's 19. And then 22 take away something equals 18. And it just keeps going like that. So for question 2, they're asking you to write down, well, what was changing? Which numbers changed in each sentence? So for set A, you'd be saying the answers. And I wonder if the number being taken away changed. Well, I think it would have to, because I've got the same amount here and I'm taking something away and I'm getting 19, but then I've got the same starting number, but I've taken, it has to be a different number to get me a different answer. So for this one, I can count up to find out 19, 20, 21, 22. So this one must be 3. This one, 18, if I start again, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, now it's 4 because I've got a smaller part here. So if this part is smaller, this one has to be bigger. This one is smaller, this one has to be bigger. So for question 2, which numbers changed? The answers and the amount, being taken away. That's what you'd be writing. And then you'd have to look at set B and see, well, what was changing over there? Was it the answers? Was it maybe, actually I can see on that one it starts with 81, 71, 61. So it'd be the number that we started with, the total, and then what else was changing. So there's sometimes 2 things on there. And then for question 3, get rid of all that. For question 3, it's just saying write the missing numbers and find the patterns. That's similar to what we've been doing. So it looks like this, 65, take away something equals 45. This one's just jumping in tens. So I can see it's gone down 2 tens. And then 65, take away something equals, look at this, it's a little bit tricky, 46. So it's not jumping in tens anymore because now I've got, these are my 2 parts and this is the whole. This part has gone up a little bit. So this part has to go down a little bit. So it's just like the Pam balance. You have to make it equal. So this one's going down a little bit. And then for the step ahead, they are saying that you need the dice or your little chopped up bits of paper. So it says roll the 2 labelled cubes and add the numbers. So they're hoping that you've got one that is a 10 and one that is just the ones. So for instance, if you rolled 20, picked out 20 and then you picked out 6, you'd add them together, 26. And the question states, so if my number is 26 that I rolled or that I picked out, then it says, write a number pattern that decreases by your total. So I have to keep taking away 26 all the time, taking it away, because the first one says something, take away, and I'm going to put in my number here, take away 26 equals something else. So I can make those numbers up. I can make it tricky if I want, or I can make it easy if I want. For instance, I could say, well, all right, maybe let's have 30. Oh, it would need to be a big number, sorry, I realised, because it's got little arrows that follow it around on here. So we'll have to have a bigger number. Because see the little arrows? So it has to keep going. So we better start with a fairly big number. So we'll start with, let's say, 126. So 126, take away the 26, I'd be left with 100. And then the little arrow goes like this. And you have to start with that number. So 100. And it says make the pattern always taking away whatever number yours is. So I'm going to take away 26 again. And that will give me my answer. To do that one, maybe I do need to do it on a number line on another bit of paper to work it out. So if I'm going to have 100, hoping you can see that, yep, 100, I'm going to jump back 2 tens and 6 ones. 1 10, 2 tens, 100, 90, 80. I know my rainbow facts, so I'm just going to take away 6. And I know that 6 and 4 would get me to the 10. So if I've taken away 6, I'm only left with 74. So my answer is going to be 74. If I get rid of my working out, it then has another little arrow. Oops, you can't see properly. And it says, okay, do it again. Start with that number, 74. Take away another one of my numbers, which was 26. And you just keep going. So that's what it's asking you to do. I hope that is helpful.